Hello, everyone. Welcome to Naoto's Nerdy Power Hour. Before it's an edition, like a little bit more special edition than the regular Power Hour. My name is Naoto. I am head sharpening nerds. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it, but the Naoto at Knifewear. I will be doing some of the repair and as well as tip repair and the edge repair today. But today's edition is a little bit more special because we have this, we call it the garage sale, coming pretty soon. Starting on November 6th, runs for a week until 12th. Does it count on the Remembrance Day as well? No, till Monday, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
it is the 6th to the 12th.
6th to the 12th, the garage sale. So let me just gonna explain to you what the garage sale is all about. Knifewear garage sale started back in probably 10 years ago when Kevin, the shop owner, went to Japan and saw a whole bunch of knives that we can't really carry as a regular line. So he grabbed a whole bunch and brought it back with him. And basically what he did is that he filled everything in the suitcase and came back with a suitcase full of knives and started selling those. So that's how it started. Now it's kind of hard to go to actually Japan and grab that many knives. So we have arranged some of the blacksmith knife makers and get the cool knives or some prototypes. We have one-of-a-kind knives as well as some like launch new products. Oh, as well as we have some of the older stuff that we're bringing back as a some fun activity. So fun thing. So yeah, so that's kind of how it goes.
Do you want me to run through some news while
Yes,
you
I
get
think
all
we
set
should.
up there? So we were talking a little bit about some of the cool knives that we're getting here pretty soon. So we're doing a garage sale preview video that's coming out this Monday. That was with me and Naoto. So we're kind of running through all the cool stuff. There's some refurbished knives, there's some custom handles, there's some new makers. We're launching a new knife line. And then on November 3rd at noon, we're getting started with the garage sale unboxing and Q&A live stream. So if you've got any questions or there's a knife that caught your eye, that's the time to ask them. We'll weigh everything, we'll go through it with you. We can tell you what steel it is, who made it, how it feels in the hand, all that good stuff. On November 6th, starting at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we are doing the garage sale kickoff live stream. That is Monday, November 6th. Normally that runs about 4 to kind of 6 hours. So there's room for some questions, but we'll also be doing a lot more scheduled stuff. If my memory serves me, we're doing like a clacker wheel with maybe some giveaways and stuff like that as well. Some other cool stuff that we've got going on right now is a winter clothing drive, and that is in stores in Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa. And you can trade all your winter clothes for some sharpenings. There's going to be a little link in the description for that one. Toronto is also doing a super cool program. We're doing like a knife amnesty kind of program. It's a knife trade up. So if you have like an older Knifewear knife, you can bring it in, swap it for a gift card with a 50% of the current retail value. And aside from that, we had a really great video come out last week where Nathan and I and Mike and Naoto and a couple of the folks from the main store, we all went to the Terroir Symposium, which was here in Calgary at the beginning of October. And there's a cool elk butchery, there was a bunch of talks, just all sorts of fun stuff that was going on then.
Sorry, people are just looking at the blank screen for. Well, we had some.
All good. We are all caught up in news. You actually had excellent timing, so I think we are good to get started.
Awesome.
On chip repair and fixing chips.
Right.
Tips. Sorry.
Fixing tips. So, as the Sky mentioned, we'll have a section of the refurbished knives. Lightly used, sometimes like damaged. Those knives will get refurbished and sold at a really good price, up to 50% off. Depends on how much actually damage that goes into it. It's kind of contrary, I guess, because more damage that the knife has previously, we usually give a little bit more discount, right?
And a little bit more pre-loved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But also the amount of work that needs to be put into the knife is greater, much greater than the lightly used knife. So anyways, that's kind of how it works. Today I'm going to show you the. Just gonna adjust this. I think it's going wrong way.
There we go.
Okay, so yeah, today I'm gonna show you two. I guess I'm gonna work on two knives today. One, it's pretty simple, straightforward. I don't know which camera should I be pointing at,
Yep.
but this one here, the Moritaka Ishime with the tip broken off. This is gonna be really simple, straightforward. The repair. The on the knife, it's just really tip broken off. Another one that I will probably be doing in realistically is this one here. I guess I should probably try this first, but it may take a little bit longer. But this one here is the Masakage Koishi. It's got little small chips on
He's
there.
got some dings in him.
Yeah. So see how much I can do with just using those stones here. What I mean by stone is that sometimes we use the stone that actually spins. That does take off lots of back and forth motion by hand. So that's if I have a major repairs to be done, that's what I would usually use. Okay.
Cool.
So let's get started.
Yeah, we're getting lots of hellos, happy Fridays.
Yeah.
Hi, knife nerds in the chat. Demon Spectre is here as always.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
Mr. Micro says, perfect timing. Tomorrow I'm doing my knives.
here. So when you are doing any of the repair works, what you want to do is you want to have something really coarse, like 220 grit. Some knife sharpening stone makers make 120 grit, 80 grit. Any of those really coarse stone would do really great job. I personally like something that's a little bit thick as well, so that you could use the side of the stone as well if you need to. Like say, for example, if you're doing the repair on the tip, the basic technique is really to grind it like this way. I actually forgot one thing. But before doing anything, I'm gonna protect the handle.
Tack is wondering where the knife from the thumbnail is.
Oh, that one. The
Sumi Bunka.
yeah, we do have one there. I figured it's just gonna take so long by doing by hand, and then we still haven't repaired it yet.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do by hand, but when you're
I mean, I could.
that was an example of something that we could do, but it would take a little bit longer than the time that we have for the stream
Yeah,
today.
Exactly.
So that one we'll probably end up doing on a belt sander.
Or the stone, right?
Or the
Really,
stone,
yeah.
yeah.
The stone that spins. Just gonna wrap them.
Why do we wrap the handle?
What's that?
Why do we wrap the handle?
Oh, because the sharpening has lots of grits, some yucky stuff, and especially this repair is really for the not especially. I actually do wrap all the knives that I sharpen, but it's just really to protect the handle from getting really yucky, right? So it's not the cleanest job ever, right? So when you are when you tip your knife lightly, it happens. Even happened to my Kuroshu from Masashi-san. He makes the knife super well. He makes it's super thin, especially at the tip is really thin. And also, tip is more prone to chipping, not only because it is a thinnest, spot of the knife. Not only, but it is oftentimes the hardest part of the knife. The reason being is that when you're heat treating these knives, they try to make this whole knife heats evenly, right? But reality is that there is a spot that's a little bit hotter than others. And tips, thinner, and tip gets actually hotter a little bit faster. A lot of people do have the techniques to keep them really nice and consistent, but reality is that the tip is actually hotter, so that it's more prone to chipping than the rest of the blade. Not just the thinness, but the once you good news, bad news. I'm not sure how you're gonna interpret it, but once you break the tip off, it will very unlikely from that on to break the tip off from the blade, because you break off the part that's actually hard. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think.
So it gets thicker, is what you're saying?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Even so the hardest part has been broken off, so it's not as quite hard.
Oh, because of how it's been tempered.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How it's
gotcha.
been, I guess, quenched. Like when they quench, they try to
Got it.
make it even, right?
Yep.
It's so hard.
Break once, cry once. Got it.
Yep. So because like the kuroshu had never broken, or the tip never broken since I broke the tip off. Anyways, so when you have a knife, when we're gonna repair these chips at the tip, what we are going to do usually is to grind from the spine, and basically just meet the do this. The reason why I'm using that the side of the stone is that I don't gouge the stone. The good side that I could be still using.
Yeah.
This is the first step. I also do the sharpening from the edge side as well. Some people try not to sharpen it from the edge side, but it really depends on how big the chip is. Actually, sharpening it from both sides will make more sense. Here's why. Okay, so say when you chip about a centimeter from the tip, like say here, half an inch or so. If you're just working on from the spine, it's going to take a lot more. Like you will have to grind a lot of steel from the spine to kind of like match the original profile, right? That's the idea. We want to kind of make it look the same after it's been ground down. But when you do this, like try to parallel to the this curve, you have to remove quite a bit. Like from here down like that. And also you will lose this much of, for example, the curvature. So you would have had this much of the tip, the curve, the end. So I would usually do is cut from both ends to make it look similar in mathematic, I guess, terminology. Similar shape from the both ends.
Gotcha.
So I have to grind it like less from the top and a little bit. So I would really have to start from grinding from here and here. Not so much the same case as Moritaka because it's pretty flat. And especially the damage is like this much. I wouldn't usually worry too much about. I still do sharpen it from the edge side as well. It is awkward.
Spoon Monkey had a good thought here. He said, but doing that removes the karochi finish on the spine, which might not be what the customer wants. And also mentioned that on karochi knives, he always fixes it from the edge, so after thinning, you never know it was broken. That can also kind of change the profile of your knife. So it really depends on the conversation that you have with the customer and like, what they really value.
Yeah. It really depends. Yeah, like that's like Spoon Monkey's got the point. But the something like this, the Moritaka-san's knife, definitely it's much more flatter blade. So it may be a lot more noticeable if I just do it from the edge part.
Yeah, it really heavily depends on like the profile of the knife you're working with.
Yeah. I don't know if I can finish this today. I mean, you know what? I have a better tool.
Bringing out the big guns.
A better tool. So this one here is the diamond stone that the
This is a 140 grit, right?
something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna work on from the spine. So you can see it's being ground now. Yeah, starting to actually become smaller, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just be careful because this is very unconventional way of holding a knife. I still like to sharpening job, like I guess like hold it where I put the pressure on. You could, like some people do this way, you know, hold the handle. Definitely it's safer. If you were to do something like a regular like small santokus and stuff, that's probably easier because it's
Yeah, you're working with kind of a long knife here.
yeah, exactly. Because I could see it kind of bends back and forth when I'm pushing it down, so that's why I changed my grip like this.
Change it up to keep the even pressure.
Oh. Yeah, this is like really, it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science, I guess. When we do this kind of job with the wheel that we have, it's pretty simple. It's just like make sure it doesn't move. If you don't really care about the look, you know, like if you're trying to do this at home, tip is quite large. Well, the chip is quite large. You don't always have to do like whole. I guess this Kiritsuke, right? Like I'm working on the whole thing. At home, you don't have to do it. You could just work on that tip part, like a little bit more, like lift up and just remove the chip, right? I'm going. So it's almost gone.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually finish it up with the sharpening from the edge part. But the before, as you probably can see, it's not straight. Not as straight as they used to be. So I'm gonna just keep working a little bit to make sure it looks a bit more like original Kiritsuke. Which I don't. Oh, it's so awkward.
So is this something where you'll move up to a 220 again after you finish on the diamond plate, or are you just gonna leave it as is?
I probably will change the grits so that it doesn't. it doesn't look as rough. And rougher because it's carbon steel, right? If you leave the rougher finish on, it's more prone to rusting after. Okay, I'm just gonna finish up with the something. But here's kind of how I would do the first tip repair. And what I'm gonna do is just gonna move on and to the few different stones. To make sure it's not as, and this you can do crazy, right? You can just go up to something really, really coarse, or the fine as, sorry, excuse me, it's like super fine, to make this part really nice and polished too, right? If you want to. And just gonna do tiny bit at the tip.
Watch the head.
No.
Some knife ASMR for you.
And because it was like pretty small, I'm just gonna adjust this with just a tiny bit of, we call it cobalt or the micro bevel finish, instead of working on the whole thing. Okay, next. 1000 grit. This I can use.
Which stone is this?
This is the traditional 1000.
Cool.
I don't know if you have this. It's very similar to Knifewear 1000, just slightly different color.
And we've moved to the top of the stone, so we're not as worried about gouging it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the, I'm not, I guess, removing that much of steel, so I'm not going to work on the one spot as much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if I were to do this like whole step, but with the 220 grit, there's going to be a few streaks that's like really deep. Where this one here is really basically the.
Watch the head.
I thought I checked the how how much I can duck into it, but I guess it didn't. Okay, so just do that.
Hey, Mr. Nathan wants to know, Naoto, what's your favorite knife in the garage sale?
Oh, you know what? This garage sale, we have like so many cool things, right? Like so many cool. I will show you a few of my favorites later on this show. We just received the few knives from the Mutsumi Hinora.
Oh yeah.
That the shape of the knife is so cool.
We got a whole bunch of Hakata bunkas that
Yes.
were really, really cool.
So yeah, if you look at from the top end, that's a little bit more natural, I think,
Yeah, that looks great.
than the. I may finish tiny bit of bump right here if I won't try to make it perfect, but because it's slightly carved right here, but it's just pretty good. I'm going to do. So from there, I'm just gonna finish it up with the so Hibiki 6000 to just match the edge, I guess. You know, the So basically, like you could see that the color changes from the here to the towards the tip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna make sure that it just blends in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this grass, so we got a lot of cool stuff. I'm excited.
I really like the old Sakai old stuff. That one Yanagiba you were
Right,
showing
right,
me was
right.
really neat.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one custom handle that has a painted fish on it, and I think I would give my left leg for that knife. It's very cute.
Great thing about this garage sale though, like we did the custom handle early enough,
Yeah.
so some of the stores will get some of the custom handles
Nice.
at the stores. So if you're watching it from wherever we have stores in, the inventory or the stuff. So the first Monday is really really busy. So all the stores are offline from the online sales. Offline from online sales. So it's
The stock is protected.
Stock is protected. So if you're looking for something, maybe one-off or cool stuff, first day of the garage sale, go to store. Stores sometimes have the things that's like, no one else has or one of a kind.
Ooh, Loner88 says, I'm hoping someone will snatch up the Manaka Myojin before me.
That is a
It's
beauty,
such a
though.
nice
That's a
knife.
beauty. The idea came actually from. I'm just gonna say it because this was one of our idea. Well, my idea. So idea came when I went to visit him last November. Yes, like a year ago.
Yeah.
I went to visit Manaka-san, and I was looking at the equipments, and he's basically doing everything by himself, right? From forge welding, forging, heat treatment, and sharpening. And I knew the Myojin-san is taking lots of knives from, not only from the certain region. He sharpens Shoichi Hashimoto knives, he sharpens Nigara knives, and seems like Manaka-san wasn't really enjoying the sharpening process a whole lot. He's pretty good, but he was like, I wish, he was saying he wishes if there was anyone who could, outsource or send the knives to get sharpened, and because those, Manaka-san and Myojin-san are in kind of same generation, right? Really young. Myojin-san is probably in early 30s, and Manaka-san is late 30s, and kind of in the same generation. And I like to see that generation of the blacksmiths and craftsmen, the craftspeople in Japan, and doing a little bit of collab, as well as basically trying to perfect and make the whole industry better in terms of the quality that they are producing. So I said, there's a guy called Myojin-san who seems to be taking the knives from other people, and I think there is going to be quite a bit of benefit from it. It takes a little bit more time to get things out, but and I think he will learn from his way of sharpening as well. Not only we get the product, but I'm sure he sees it once it's done. So I thought the idea, and a year later we got two knives forged by him and sharpened by Myojin-san. So
this was a Naoto inspired collaboration.
I just that because I knew that Myojin-san does things like that, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. We have some love for the Hatsukokoro Kurochi Copper Sakimaru Tsujihiki.
Oh yeah.
That's a mouthful.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous one. It photographed so well too.
So, well, the tip repair was that. I guess it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. That was super quick and easy. That's very doable at home.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have all the stone line up to kind of get it polished.
Right.
Like, you can at least get it fixed up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're just gonna do the quick repair, you can just do it from the like you don't have to take whole bevel down, right? You can just like grind it, like, bit down, and you can make it as a project, right? Just every time you sharpen, you can just like grind to the back side to make it flatter again. So that was pretty, straightforward. Just careful, because holding a knife on the blade is not really the safest way. But the long knife like these, I could see that the blade kind of, I guess flexing a little bit. So
Starts to bend
yes,
a little bit.
yeah. So
Awesome. What's next?
next one is this repair, the koishi.
Oh, nice.
The box, when this came back, I think it got an accident or some sort during transportation, and it's chipped. I probably got been used a few times, but box is all smashed up almost. So so this I will do the repair on, and this is going to be, these are going to be on the
refurbished
section.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna check the straightness of a knife. Oftentimes, when the chip happens, often people do put a little bit more pressure than they need to. Okay.
This is also something that you can do if you've like repaired the chip in the way that Naoto just showed. Like, if it does end up flexing a little bit one way or another, you can kind of press it between the table and your hand. Apply just gentle pressure and get it back straight.
The pressure only should be a upwards pressure. That's what I learned from the Masashi-san. He's like so if the knife is bent this way, always put pressure and give the upwards pressure. If it needs to go the other way, just flip the knife and give the other upwards pressure, because downward pressure is so much easier to go wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's whole, it's gravity and whole body, right? So it's if it went wrong, it goes wrong like quite badly. So
I love a Masashi hack.
yeah. Okay. So it's nice and straight. Now, pretty. So it's got a few chips. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the I guess all the chips by raising the angle quite a bit. I personally don't do this grind. The few reasons. One, it could again leave the little bit more streaks on the stones, as well. I'm doing it like both ways. I'm not just sharpening or grinding it on only one way. This makes it the next step a little bit more easier. Next step will be, after removing all the chips, next step will be to thin the bevel to make it thin so that it glides into the food much nicer. So once you have instead of like flat blade and you thin it from that, I will kind of keep the little bit more gentle V so it can match it to the thickness. I don't know if that makes sense, but same idea as the before. I try same idea as before, as to remove the chip on the tip. I try to match the profile, the original profile of the knife. So not only I will remove the steel from here, I will remove the steel from all the way, everywhere.
Spoon Monkey wants to know if you're going to make it a flat grind. Spoon Monkey wants to know if you're making it a flat grind.
You mean the flat?
Maybe. You mean like flat on the bevel as compared to like a hamaguri, or?
Oh,
Oh, or keep it concave for the blend.
the concave. No, I try to. There is a definitely like bit of concavity on this one. If possible, I will try to remove all the concavity, which is the low spots on the knife. But also you have to be a little bit more careful because if the knife has quite a bit of concave or concavity on the bevel, and in order to remove all that, and takes time, and also the steel, like sometimes you have to make it edge or the blade so much shorter. So finding the, I guess, like middle point is probably the best, because you still don't want to remove all the coming along. Okay, a little bit more. And if the edge is still, like, because of the concavity, sometimes even if you take that much of steel off, it could be still very thin. What that means is that when the bevel is like this, like slight concavity like this, taking a bit off still is at the point that edge is really, really thin. So yes, in theory you want to thin your blade. Reality, you want to check it right after you grind the whole chips out. Otherwise, you could be making the edge very thin from that point.
Like too thin.
Yeah.
Trevor was saying he's never managed to chip a knife on the belly, but all of his chips are gone. I think it's kind of different actions that do that. Like
Yeah.
I'm totally the same way. Like I have a couple of missing chips from like stabbing the side of the sink when I'm washing it.
Yeah,
Raising
that
it a little
happens.
too higher.
Sink, faucet.
Yeah, the faucet.
Yeah,
It's a huge one.
yeah, faucet is a real big one for me.
Yeah, those heavy belly chips are a lot more for like twisting motions or
Yeah,
going
or
through stuff you shouldn't be going.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the scraping. Yep.
Any questions, or just the comments looking at the blades being thin or sharpened right now? I guess like today is like it's a lot of like grinding today.
Yeah. It's a lot of brute force today.
Let me just
Yeah, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments.
Yeah.
We've just been kind of talking about the grinds.
I'm just gonna do this really quick then.
Some love for the garage sale knives.
Yeah, the evening comment, we will have the next week, next Friday. I'm sure
Yep.
we we talked about it, but next Friday from noon Mountain Time, noon?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Noon Mountain Time, we'll run the unboxing, Grassware unboxing. That's the time for you to ask any questions that you have about Grassware. Like, take a look at because the day of, we'll run the Knifewear Grassware marathon, but it'll be busy. We'll be really, really busy, and you'll be probably busy in front of a computer. So best time to ask questions is that Friday, next week.
yep. Get prepared ahead of time. Trevor was wondering if there are any planned trips coming up because he really liked the videos that came out of them.
Oh, well, Kevin is in Japan.
Yeah, Kevin's currently in Japan.
Yeah, currently in Japan. He really has been, he's buying like some stuff. It started to arrive pretty quick as well. But we're hoping actually to go, visit those people with the these good.
With our good cameras.
Yeah. And good camera needs the good operator as well.
Yeah.
Just so you know. We did try once. We did. Some of the footage was good. I think we used it for some footage, but
Yep. Had to sort through a whole lot of stuff. So the further you got in the knife, I noticed you switched stones here.
I just decided to.
Yeah.
Because it's grinding it. It is removing a steel, but at the same time, I needed to flatten them later on. So I'm just gonna do this first.
You didn't true your stones, Naoto?
What's that? I do true stones, but I need to spend a lot more time truing it.
Flu's asking if we prefer diamond plate or whetstones for coarse work.
Removing the chips, diamond is great. I don't like to use it on the any of the beveling work or the thinning work. It does cut pretty good, but it often leaves much deeper scratches than the regular sharpening stones leave, and often I have to spend a lot more time removing the scratches. So
A little bit more work than it's worth.
yeah. It will increase the work than the shortens them. So the chip removal is great, but
Okay, Spoonlinky says, looking at something like R2 versus ZDP 189 for grinding thinning, ZDP 189 feels easier to thin despite the difference in hardness. How can lower wear resistance still translate to higher edge retention? That's a very good question.
that's a good question. Well, there are a few things that matters when it comes to the edge retention, right? Yes, wear resistance is pretty good. One of the higher wear resistance, wear resistant means it doesn't want to be scrubbed, I guess, easily, right? So when you're doing this, it doesn't want to be scratched. It doesn't want to get the. So those higher wear resistant steels or knives, they often have the longer edge retention. Also, there is another ones like hardness, Rockwell hardness scale. The ZDP 189 is one of the harder steel. It's like Rockwell scale 66 to 67, probably one of the highest for the kitchen knife making. There are harder materials around, but if you're comparing them to if you're comparing them as like practicality, sharpenability and everything, that's probably as hard as you want to go for. Also, the sharpenability, you want to take a look at things like what the cladding material is as well. The cladding material, if the cladding materials is like a little bit softer steel or the wear resistant steel, it makes it a little bit easier to sharpen than or thin than just the steel itself, right? Because only part that's actually exposed on the knife is about 2 to 3 millimeters from the edge. Rest is all softer stainless or the carbon steel, right? So the jigane or the cladding steel is also an important part as well when it comes to the sharpenability. Like it's one of the things that I found is the steel. There are some knives that's made out of ZDP 180 core and clad with VG10, and I think it's not really practical. Like, why would you use the VG10 as good knife steel and it doesn't have that much of flexibility to protect the ZDP anyway, right? So.
James Wang was asking, by the way, Naoto, what is the hardest 180 to 220 grit stone on the market? Because most of them are quite soft and require a lot of flattening.
Right. Something.
I've had good luck with Shaptons.
You have to, especially So James, you have to kind of think in both ways. Harder stones are great. Like say in the market, I think one of the hardest stones, the core stone, is the we don't carry them. It makes it a little bit hard to bring them in, but the Kensho Zan series is really nice and hard, and it cuts really fast. But you have to remember how the stone works too. As it exposes more abrasive out, as it cuts the steel faster. So it can be like very it's a dilemma, I guess, right? You could make it hard, but because the stone itself doesn't grind, it does not expose more abrasive out. If it's soft, right? So it cuts fast, but it also changes. So what knife makers, the sharpening stone makers, try to do is to find their best balance. Kensho series Zan is really good. Zan means to cut. The Masashi Fujiwara-san, who is the behind of those stone series, he has his very clear concept for what the stone what he wants that stone to do. So it's called cutting stone, I guess, right? So that is probably the hardest, but yeah, it's
bit of a rabbit hole.
it's a dilemma.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Taft was wondering, are all your knife makers from one main area, or are they spread out throughout Japan?
They are spreading all over Japan. Yeah. We have knife maker all the way up to. So what we been dealing with, the northernmost blacksmith is Nigara-san, Go Yoshizawa-san, who is the head blacksmith of Nigara Hamono. He is in Hirosaki, Aomori, and for the south that we deal with, they are in the Yatsushiro in Kumamoto. That's in the island of Kyushu, and that's quite a bit of spread. There are regions that are famous for knife making, like Takefu or the Echizen, like Sanjo, that's like in Niigata, or the Tosa, and each region have their own unique way, and also the history of making blades. There are 5 main regions, famous for kitchen knife making. So it's some others, but yeah, it's all spread out. We have blacksmith. We deal with the blacksmith who is in this prefecture that I've never been to, Yamagata. Very famous for the cherries, super sweet cherries.
Spoon Monkey was asking, who's the best knife maker, all things considered, alive today? I.e., which maker should everyone have at least one of in their collection?
So the all things considered for the kitchen knife, as far as the kitchen knife maker is concerned, my favorite is the, as probably some of you can tell, Masashi Yamamoto-san. He is fantastic. The way he thinks about making knives, fit and finish, makes it really true. Grind is very nice and even, super easy to sharpen, super thin blades. So he is probably definitely the top, if not the best. One of the things though, because his philosophy and also how he thinks about knives should be and everything, his knives are a little bit too thin for like everyone to have. So as much as I love his blade and I think everyone should have one of his knives, some people find it's too thin, too fragile. So if that everything considered, for the maker-wise kitchen knife, say, yeah, like and all the balance is kind of hard to determine one. Like for example, all the cost and the performance and say ease of sharpening, ease of I guess it's not going to chip as easy type of stuff. For example, one of the Haruyuki like Kokuto is really good. It's it's not all handmade. It's not like hand forged, but it's handmade by so many different craftsmen going through each craftspeople and with the very meticulous inspection, right? So that one is really good, and it's been one of our most popular knives. And like, if I were to say looking for a gift for someone, Masashi, I have to think of that particular person, how they're gonna use them, how they're gonna treat them. Where the Kokuto or a lot of Haruyuki series, I'd be like, yeah, this is great knife. It's gonna be such great upgrade from what they have. Yet it doesn't, it's not going to chip as easy. It's not gonna be, So that's like, that's my answer, I guess.
The answer is it depends. It depends.
Yeah, but
yeah, I think I would go Masashi too.
Yeah.
Like just having, I know he's not as like widespread outside of our little sphere of influence, but seeing the stuff that he prepares and that he brings every time that he visits to us, and they get better every time too. Like he's really doing some incredible things now, and I think he's gonna super take off here soon. Him and I've had a big soft spot for well, not a knife maker, but a sharpener, Maruyama-san.
Yeah.
Really, I think he's doing great stuff. I would really love one of those.
Yeah, those guys are fantastic. Awesome. It's out. Okay. So all the chips are out.
It only took us, what, 25 minutes?
Yeah, changing the
Hey,
steel.
you gotta be super B like that, man.
Yeah, sometimes. Okay, so here we go. That was good. I'm gonna actually. I like this stone that you can put on both sides. Like, I know some people sells the atoma with the handle.
Oh.
Yeah, just do a chewing.
So funny.
But sometimes you want to chew when face down too, right? Some people draw lines like with pencils and stuff. Oftentimes when you work, long enough on the one stone, there is this, it changes the color. So
It's a good tool for beginners, though.
yeah, absolutely,
I used to
absolutely.
draw little like cartoons for myself on mine.
Yeah,
Let it disappear.
in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna do that now. And yeah, I don't know if that answers the question the Spoon Monkey had.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Spoon Monkey? Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite?
Yeesh. Because everyone has different opinions. Yeesh. There. Okay, so now I'm going to start the work on this bevel. It is a little bit thicker. It doesn't need that much, but it still needs a little bit of what we call a thinning. First off, I'm gonna. So this is flat. I'm gonna make it slight, like millimeter. Wait. Up a bit. So that it only works just along the edge.
Spoon Monkey says anything from Masakage.
Mm.
That's a good answer.
Masakage is really great. It's getting a little bit more harder, like in terms of the quantity. It's getting a little bit more difficult to get the enough. I mean, like Masashi is the same, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It is pretty reliable for sure. Well, the Shibata Kotetsu is really good too if you get enough in the quantity too.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan has entered the chat. Hello, Jordan.
Like I guess anything, right? The handmade knives are getting more difficult to get these days. And like when you were thinning the blade that's been, I guess, chipped, one of the process that I do, I think I explained it on the, how to make a convex bevel, is though the starts just sharpening along the edge. From here, you can see the blade road or the last micro bevel is really small, and I would kind of like take that from the micro bevel and widens the micro bevel gradually. Like if you compare that, that's kind of how I approach the do the thinning instead of like dead flat.
Is that for strength?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, James is making a crepe cake and listening to you sharpening. Honestly, the dream. It's like perfect Friday afternoon.
Right. Well, I should have dressed up because it's Halloween's coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if
Monday, right?
if someone's partying, that's this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not, but I am very too old for that kind of partying anymore. But
Trevor was asking, how much does a chip affect the value of a knife since fixing it changes the profile?
Value when it comes to say, so this knife had about 2 millimeter, like
Yeah.
1/8 of an inch type of
Yep. Not small, but
chip.
not huge.
It's not. Yeah, it's. I guess like you did lose the 3, 4, 5 times like 5 sharpenings. Once it's restored, it's not going to. I guess affect the cutting edge profile hasn't changed because we try to maintain the same profile. It's slightly narrower, right? So you may find that it's a little bit narrow, but that's a given. Like as that's kind of the condition, right? Because of it's a refurbished knife. So definitely that. But when it comes to the edge quality or the I think quality of the sharpening, no, it's not sharpening, steel, it's not compromised at all. In fact, it may be better, as I kind of explained, the heat treatment works really strongly along, like, at the end. You know what I mean? Like the harder spots, like the thin spots along the edge, heel, those spots gets hardened a lot more. So as it kind of comes in, it gets little. Some knife makers say it settles a little bit. It's not as quite hard. It's not as quite chippy as the other parts. So it's like stripping one layer off and makes it a little bit ready to use type of the edge. So it really depends.
PH808 was wondering, any pointers for fixing a dented tip versus a broken off one? That's tricky.
That's tricky. Depends on the type of steel. So oftentimes dented steel or the bent, like curled end steel, like the tips, they happen because that the steel is not as hard enough. If it's hard enough, it will just break off. But it curls because it's not as quite hard. So when you try to bend it back, because it will have the enough elasticity or it's the springiness, it comes back and it's really hard to bring it to the original level. So I usually do grind it down. I usually grind it down. Like treat them as basically a chip.
Shibata's R2 or AS? Which one would you go for and why?
I will go for R2 because that's his original.
The OG.
That's his original. Like it's no doubt about there's no like hidden or anything. One of the reasons why when he started making the whatchamacallit, the Alchemy Super version is that he couldn't get enough R2 blades.
Oh.
So like it's been sharpened the same. The Kotetsu is named after this battleship it's called the Ironclad battleship, right? And it did shape like that Kotetsu R2. It does have his whole philosophy about how thin that should be and how flat the blade should be. If you like that curve, really nice, like more traditional European curve to it, go for either AS or his battleship. It's very weird name. Yeah.
I don't have any R2 yet. I've got just about everything else, but skip that one. Oh no, I did. I did have one, but I gave it to my mom.
Oh.
I had a little the Kato Black Damascus Petty, which was really lovely and fantastic and so lovely and pretty that my mom was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. My mom, who never asked for anything ever, was like, take it, girl.
Right. Every time I'm home, I have to, face very sad looking knives and
oh no.
have to find the place to. Well, I mean, I could do it, but
I could, but you know.
Yeah, so this one here, I started out with a little bit higher, and now I'm actually touching pretty much like basically flat on the bevel, and I'm starting to see the like this whole spot is low.
Can you kind of do the motorcycle rev a little bit? Yeah, there we go.
Like this like this middle here. I'll see how it's going to actually look like from the sharpening from the other side, then decide what to do.
Brent Hendrick says, I love my Masashi knives. One simply has to choose the right knife for the right task. I wholeheartedly agree.
Yep.
At what point do you think a chip is like too big to repair? Like at what point do you throw in the towel?
It's I don't know. If it's the monosteel knife, it's harder. It can break in half, and you have to grind it down and stuff. It shouldn't, like any of the cutting knives, it shouldn't chip any farther than where the cutting line is. Sometimes they do, but it shouldn't go like much deeper from there. If it does, like the biggest repair I've done was the Takeda knife that I got into the car accident.
Oh yeah.
And I removed whole, like it was about this much heel was actually cracked because it's smashed in.
Oh wow.
I did grind it down, make it different shape, but I salvaged it. So yeah.
I did have a Tsukihiki come in one time that I think had also been run over by a car somehow. It was like bent at like a 45-degree angle. Knives get into some real misadventures.
Yeah. Those ones still, like, yes, if you keep bending a knife over and over, it will become weak and will break some point. So when that happens, you have to be a little bit more like, you have to be like, oh, okay, so it broke from this point, and now, what are you gonna do? But chip-wise, though, it's probably not. You probably could salvage it, like even if it's like the chip is as deep as a half. It should be.
You just have like an ice pick of a knife.
Oh, except those knives that's constructed in a way that like these knives are sandwich, right? Like bologna sandwich, right? Some knife makers, they make it like a hot dog, or some even makers do it like like shun kai, like I can't remember which line it was, but there's a one line of shun that is basically they put the bologna sandwich into like really soft bread. I don't know if that analogy makes. So basically, so here. So so for example, if this was not the knife, they basically piece of very soft stainless steel.
Okay.
Weld this part as a 3-layer steel. So once this is all gone, knife is no longer in.
Oh,
it can't
okay.
Be used.
So it's like it's just soft steel on the top and
Yeah.
then just the edge. Oh, that's funny.
Edge is still 3-layer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's like.
So you can
not
see
a
2
seed.
lines like this.
Got it. Yeah, it's like when you get like the ramen like cup of noodles, but they like make the noodles look a lot taller than they actually are, because it's wedged in the cup that way.
You know why that they do that though?
So they
They're-
expand.
No, they can hold the hot water. It is actually designed that way.
Oh, okay.
It is designed that way.
So we're not just,
It is the.
I'm not just getting screwed on my cup of noodles. Then.
It is the clever design of the Momo, the inventor of the cup noodle.
Oh man.
It was the only way to get the water soak in and rehydrates them evenly.
Okay, maybe that was a bad example on my part then.
Sorry, I read that story like.
No, I'd much rather have a fun fact than be right. Spoon Monkey says he saw a shoon recently that was VG10 clad from spine to edge, and once it was thinned out, it revealed like horrible pitted steel underneath. Oh no. And Jordan said, I think the worst I've had to do was coconut on something similar to a Grand Chef monobar. It was about 1 inch deep and maybe 1.5 inches wide. Yikes. That is a big chip.
Yeah, coconuts.
I had one Nikiri that was almost 1 inch of a chip because this dude's grandma had picked it up thinking it was a cleaver for bone and just like kept whacking through it even as the edge was chipping. He was very sad, but we fixed it.
Right. Yeah, even after, like we don't have that big of meats in grocery stores anymore, right? It's just like all small cuts, but still you see people just trying to cut in, like chop into it. And
Yep.
yeah, there shouldn't be any point that that bone needs to be chopped like that way. I think. I don't know.
Oh. Jordan says that from the coconut knife, the chip was still connected to the knife itself, so there was like a crescent moon hangnail on it.
Oh.
Gnarly. That's one I don't think I've ever seen.
You know what? I was really surprised when I, started working here and, like, seeing actually people buy coconuts. That's not really a thing in Japan. Like,
Oh, no?
Yeah, like whole coconut. I don't think you find them. Like, what do you do with the coconut? You make a coconut milk from?
I mean, like I don't think it's super common, but like you can serve drinks.
I see it's been sold.
Scoop out the meat and eat it.
Right? Because oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because coconut milk, you have to take all the white parts and you just blend them with the water, right?
Well, there's the water inside, and then coconut milk is made from the pulp.
Yeah.
Like an oat milk.
That white
Yeah.
stuff, right? So.
Oh, we've got a knife question.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Non-coconut related. Does Mizaki-san still hand sharpen his knives? And
Who?
What, Mizaki-san.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
That's.
what stone does he finish on?
Oh, the finishing. I'm not sure why I know the couple first ones. First ones like he uses like diamond. Some of the not those diamonds, but the diamonds that's the. Some people call it diamond feature. It's been like built into it. He may. I don't think he uses the natural stones to finish his knives because from the footage that we took, there wasn't that many natural stones kicking around. We may actually go back and look at our footage because we did take really good shot of him sharpening.
Was he under the stairs?
Yeah.
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 I remember that.
And yeah, Mike went. Yeah, so we do have really good footage of what he's using. So may have to. Yeah.
Yeah, he was straight up like in an attic, like under an actual set of stairs,
Yeah.
Harry Potter style.
Yeah.
Single bulb.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really remember which stones that he was finishing his knives with, unfortunately. Sorry. I wish I like this.
Got another question here. Every time I sharpen my bunka, I'm trying to count the reps while doing it. Do you have a better technique that you recommend?
Like the...
He's like counting the times he's going back and forth.
Really, when you're sharpening any knives, and that's how I used to teach at like in-person classes, is that, you know, yes, there are some people trying to teach you like this is how many paths you should be doing. Counting is very good as long as you you are looking for a bird that you're raising, because the counting itself does not do a good, because you know what it says is like, yeah, you need to do 20 passes on one side and the other, then move on to the other stone. Really, you need to thin, or you need to grind enough steel off so that the one side of steel will be hanging on to the other side. That's a burr formation, right? So you can count as many times as you want, but the counting sometimes do either over sharpens them or under sharpens them, because the like each knives are in different conditions, right? So that the you know, say if you're gonna sharpen, if you're gonna count 20, if that knife only needs 10 to raise the burr, you don't have to, right? Or if that knife needs the 40, then or 50, you will. So my advice is do the count, like, you know, smaller number is probably good, like 10 to 15. Do that. Feel burr. If you don't feel it, do the another run and do the burr. Otherwise, again, you know, you may not get as good of an edge, or the over sharpens them. So hopefully that answers to your question. And that's what I usually, you know, used to tell to the customers that comes to the, you know, stores to for the class, and that's really like really commonly get questions.
He says thank you, sir.
Yeah. Awesome. How are we doing with time? I think this may need a lot more.
That's fine.
So
we've got about 30-40 minutes left.
So like probably like 10 more minutes. I will show you, like, you know, the progress, how I'm gonna proceed from here. Then we can probably, you know, show you a few cool knives that just sitting there.
Some extra special garage sale stuff that just arrived today.
It just arrived today. It's the picture is not even up yet.
Yeah.
It has not arrived to the photo studios even yet. And yeah, hopefully a lot of, I think most of these can go to the stores for the people to look as well. Seems like Shiba and Kevin are having great time in the Ishigaki and Taketomi
Oh, are they?
Island. Yeah.
Nice.
So some, whatchamacallit, the stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seems like Kevin's having a lot of fun. They went out dinner with the Hinoras.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I hope we got lots more crazy stories from him.
Yeah.
When he gets back. Oh, he's cycling over there.
Yeah. Right? It's the part of Japan that I've never been to. I've been to Okinawa, like main island, but never been to those like. He's in one of those one of those smaller islands around.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he will enjoy the snow. By the way, we got
When he
some
gets back.
snow on the ground, and like those people who's not from Canada, we already got some snow on the ground. I just switched to my winter tire yesterday.
Nice. Tack says, my lettuce knife looks like it needs a little touch-up. Due to its shape, anything I should look out for when sharpening?
The yes, I know what you're talking about. So it is really awkward shape to sharpen for sure. One, I guess, like how much do you use the tip for, right? If you're gonna use that tip for quite a bit of things, you have to hold it kind of very weirdly, right? Because you could do like this.
Yeah?
Yeah, so, I mean, the edge is like this, right? So it is kind of weird. So you could hold it from the spine side and sharpen it this way. Because if you do this, it'll be very awkward.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the, or if you are comfortable using the other hand, so yeah, you could do this way probably. So, but you can just do, main part that you're using is the edge part, right? And it sweeps up like this. So yeah, you could do it this way. And imagine that yeah.
You can freestyle it a little bit, is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing.
Just careful. It is awkward shape and it is deceiving. Like it may give you the idea that's like it's so hard to sharpen, but it's still continuation of the blade. So yeah.
Jordan's got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I actually have a Kamisori question for Naoto.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any stones outside of the Naniwa Super Series that you would recommend for touching my new Kamisori up? And he says he's got the Imanishi 6K, and that's the smoothest one he has at home.
Imanishi 6K is really good, but the for Kamisori, I would probably gonna go a little bit higher. But the Superstone series, go for ones that's made with the little bit softer, like not Superstone or the we don't carry this, but the Shapton has their 6,000, 8,000 grit stone. That is actually the softer series. That's actually really good for the razors as well. Softer means like, say, different way of making stones. Super stones are made so-called the resinoid stone, resin-based. Resin-based ones are great for the stray razors. So that's why the Kitayama, is it? Mm-hmm. Arashiyama 6000 is the same way of making it, and it's great. Where vitrified or the vitrified, if you mud them really good, that's great. But sometimes the magnesium bond stones, they sometimes leave little scratches on the blade, even if you make it really, really, like say 8,000 grit. One streak on the stray razor could be quite tough on your skin too. So I would use something like really Superstone, Kitayama, Arashiyama, resin-based stone for the finish. And great thing about the Shapton, if you want to grab a say 10,000 or 16,000 grit stones, Shapton, what they are known for is evenness of the grit and distribution. It gets really, really, really nice and even, and they're distributed very evenly as well. So it gets really nice, even edge, right?
Oh, he was asking if that's the Melon series.
No, so even the Glassstone series, there is a so 6,000, 8,000, they have different product number. I can't remember exactly what they are. Some sells them as something. I can't remember. We kind of went for something for a like kitchen knife edge finish, so we didn't grab those because it makes it a little bit confusing for like our staff as well as the customers, right?
Cool. PH808 says, thanks for the advice on the dented tip. Would I be better grinding down my knife on an Atoma 400 or a Serax 320?
Atoma's probably faster, and just smooth it out with a Serax later.
Yep. And then our buddy Paul asks, Kurosaki VG Zeos or Nigara Himono SG2? Yes.
Both great, both very similar. Like the Zeos and the R2 are, I think, very similar. Like when it comes to the edge retention and edge performance.
Really?
I think so. It's only I guess difference maybe is that VG Zeos may have slightly better. They call it corrosion resistant. It's not gonna rust. But having said that, I've never seen the R2 rusted that bad. I've seen pit rust, like pit rusts, like like if you leave the salt water or some sort of the solution on the blade, it can go through the edge and pinhole rust. It can happen. I've seen them, but I've seen them on the whatchamacallit, the VG10 as well. So depends on type of, I guess. So out of box sharpness is very similar, except the Kurosaki-san finishes the bevel a little bit more smoother and polished. So when you are cutting, this grinding, this bevel is slightly smoother. So you may find his knives glides through, say, potatoes, sweet potatoes and stuff, a little bit more smoother than the Nigara-san, where he sandblasts the finish. So it does have a little bit more friction, right? But the sandblasted finish will have a bit better food separation. So it's that kind of difference there.
Cool. Bryson was asking, on a typical sharpening, I transitioned from 400 to 1000, then to 3000. Should I be looking for a burr after sharpening on the 1000, or simply just touching up on the edge?
The 1000, definitely please look for the burr. And after 3000, feeling the burr is a little bit harder because the burr becomes a bit smaller. But if you're sensitive enough, you will be able to feel a burr as well. But from 1000 to 3000, I'll be looking more for the physical signs, like visible signs, like how polished, how mirror did it get, because and how does it consistently get really nice and mirror polished, that kind of stuff. It's slightly more not more important, but that's better, because as you already thin your blade with the 1000 grit, it may only take one or two strokes to get the burr with the 3000, but haven't been able to polish the whole edge yet. So I'm probably going to focus on the more visible sign than the burr itself from that point on.
Ooh, here's another good either or. Nigara Himono Kurochi SG2 Tsuchime Bunka, or Hatsukokoro Inazuma Aogami Damascus Super Bunka. Inazuma all the way, 100%, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that thing is just sick.
Yeah, that comparison,
Yeah.
Inazuma is a little bit better made.
Yeah?
Yeah. the Inazuma is it. Despite we don't get them as often,
Yeah.
when we get them, it's like so nice.
Oh God, they're gorgeous.
It's forged by. Apparently, we can't really say who made it, but for those of you who've seen, like, knives, probably figure it out who made it. He's really good blacksmith. He's like. He's done we have other knives from him, and he's really good. Fin and finish, sharpening job. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the first time that I think the first one I saw was a 240 Kirisuke. I almost bought it on the spot. It was so pretty.
It's really well made.
The way they finish the bevel too, it has this like almost holographic effect. the cladding's polished.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Like, I'm generally into a lot more like clean and simple looking knives now, except for that one. I love that logo. How we doing on the Koishi?
It's getting good, nice and thin. I'm just gonna work a little bit more along the. So I'm just like changing the angle slightly bit, see. To attain the, thin enough edge, I guess. Thin, but not too thin. Okay. How are we doing with the time? And
Good.
good.
Yeah. You can finish this guy up, and then we can look at some cool bunkas.
Yeah. I just keep looking at those like piles of knives there.
Yeah, I'm excited for those.
Yeah, and we have like this Garasso. It's really good. The variety is really good. The anywhere from that's like we have. We've asked a lot about like do you guys have any single bevels for garage sale, and we're like yeah. This one we have the Kitaoka's back. We have some weird Kitaokas as well as like regular his like everyday type of stuff, and also the we just grabbed the Tojiro's new line of single bevel knives with the Tsuchime. Yeah. They just launched it. Just got an email like about 3 weeks ago, and Kevin happened to be in Japan like a week ago, so he actually grabbed it and it's shipped. It's here, so we're gonna launch that and see how they are, and maybe we're gonna carry them as a regular line, maybe, right? So that's.
Are those like the Kurochi Tojiros we got a little while back? Is that the same kind of finish?
Really rough Tsuchime finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. But it was like kind of smooth too, like it had another coating on
But
it.
it's a little bit more like rougher.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm
it's
excited to
it's
see those.
hand forged model as well, so it's pretty good. And we have the different blacksmith knife makers, one of a kind prototypes.
Custom handles.
Yeah.
22 variations of Tsunehisa knives, and all of them are cool.
Yeah, and they're on sale. We
20% off.
we just got the notification from one of the suppliers. A lot of Nigara knives with the fancy handles, like
Nice.
artificial turquoise with some Those are coming.
Oh, Bryson said, "Thank you for your help. I'm relatively new to sharpening and struggle to identify when I've over or under sharpened." Yeah, that's tricky. And then D-Hop says, "Is Naoto familiar with the Watanabe Pro Nikiri?"
Yeah, Watanabe-san. Yes, I am. I do know Watanabe-san. I've never seen the knife. From he's the dealer in Sanjo.
Oh yeah, this looks familiar.
Yeah, I'm not sure who. I shouldn't be saying this. But it's very typical. Like the look of it is very typical Sanjo style. So it's very similar to maybe what the Hinora-san does, and
Yeah.
it's very like it doesn't expose as much like the core. It's a really nice, subtle, very nice line, and I think it's gonna perform pretty well. Again, I've never seen in person, but I've seen them in pictures, and that's what I sometimes do in work, going through the Instagram or the just search for the knife makers and.
Cool. Got another commenter considering buying a first Japanese knife for his family member. Which one should I get, Tojiro or Global? I'd go Tojiro.
I'll go Tojiro as well. The
Globals are nice, but like that pitted handle just hangs on to all the food and moisture. And, like I don't know.
It's a personal choice. I find the Tojiro does good. I mean, like handle and stuff. Global, some people really like it. Some people really like it. I'm not too keen on the handle, like how it feels. Tojiro does like really good job on that. The like overall balance and everything, and it surprisingly works fantastic. I mean, Global works really good as well, but the yeah, it really depends. The the steel-wise, the VG10 for the Tojiro Classic will be a little bit better.
Maybe a little higher fit and finish.
Yeah.
I think Global got a lot of traction because they were kind of one of the first like Japanese knife steels that really came to a Western audience.
Yeah.
So they got picked up really quickly by chefs that liked them. And now we have so many more options available to us. In that regard, like I really like Tojiro.
Yeah, if you're looking either or, that's I'll go for Tojiro. But there are a lot of options beside that too, right? Like around that the Shizuyuri is really great price. They kind of look more like a, like I don't know, like a fashion brand, I guess. Like
yeah, they're more designed.
Yeah, it's like really.
They fit into an aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. They still work fantastic too, right?
Oh, totally. Okay. D-Hop says, 3000 grit burr feels like rubbing your fingertip across a strand of hair on a glass tabletop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sure does. And while we're actually actively hot rodding a knife, Patty Thompson is asking, this is a question I should know the answer to, but how do you actually hot rod a knife?
Oh. So hot rodding is a terminology that we use that Kevin came up with, basically to thin the knife. Not only the thin, but to expose the enough core steel, and thinner the blade is, it glides through the food much nicer. Easiest way is really to put thin this whole bevel right here, right? Easiest way is to really put the flat down on the stone and just go back and forth. Realistically though, the knives are not, like especially handmade knives, or hand sharpened or hand grind knives, there's going to be a lot of like imperfection, and it's not like always flat. Like knives, it's all three-dimensional. So I do kind of change the angle as I go, but the goal is always the same. Yeah, like easiest is like really like put 2 fingers, hold that knife, do this until it thins. Oftentimes, if you do that though, it will make it too thin of the edge and makes the edge, more fragile. As well, if you keep doing that, you'll raise this shinogi or this line up here because this is a little bit thicker part. So you have to be a little bit more careful. If you are curious, like you can definitely watch our videos about the how to thin your knife, as well as the what's the 4D sharpening video. I think I talked about that too.
Yeah, we've got an entire sharpening playlist that you can click through, and we explain everything in detail there too. So yeah, proceed with caution.
Yeah.
And anything you mess up, you can always send it in to us.
Alright. Is it time to show some knives, or
I believe
I'm
so.
almost like done? I haven't done this chip repair by hand for some time.
It's certainly an undertaking, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Especially a really hard steel like this.
With the yeah, just we usually use the stone that spins. So that takes lots of our this back and forth motion.
Just saves our arms and elbows a little bit.
Yeah. But you could definitely do it by hand. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, I thin it from here. I'm gonna go up on the different stones to get the. I think you can see, no chip. Yeah, and no micro bevel left. Almost
Nice.
gone.
Yeah, that looks great. All better.
But there are still spots that's like low spots here and there. So I will think about what to do. But this definitely is going to be on the whatchamacallit, the repair section or the refurb section once it's done.
Beautiful.
Alrighty.
All right, you want to clean that up a little bit? And I'll bring some knives over to you.
Yeah. Ish. Is it wet? I'm gonna actually keep them. Yeah, right there. It's good. Yeah. Yeah, so
Right.
garage sale is this like really exciting time of the year. We get the knives from all over Japan. Often we go to visit them. This time Kevin is in Japan right now. There are some knives that's long time coming. The I think some of them may already have them, but the Nigara VG10 series is fantastic. It's the when we went to visit them in last spring.
Yeah, in April, right?
Yeah, in April, they last one, like not this year, 2022. They showed us like, here's something that we're working on, and we're like, that's so cool. Here's the order, and till I guess like a couple weeks ago, we hadn't seen them for a very long time, and we got some actually. So we're gonna launch them there. It's really good. It looks really cool, and also the sharpening job is really nice, and tsuchime pattern is fantastic. It's VG10, but it's great, really well made VG10 knife. Well, something like Kevin, the shop owner, is in Japan right now, and he was in Niigata, having a great dinner with the some of those guys, like in the Sanjo. This is one of the knives that he picked it up.
Ooh.
Ajikataya, the Mutsumi Hinora's Shirogami Nashuji was actually stainless clad. The Hakata. Hakata is this very unique shape of knife. Hakata is also the name of the region in the Kyushu.
I love this handle.
Yeah,
This
the
is so pretty.
spouted maple. It's so nice. I love how like thick right here the spine, and it just tapers it really, really good.
Yeah.
Making a grip really nice and easy. 180 mil, I think. Hakata. It's yeah. The picture is not even up yet.
Yeah, I'll take these next week.
And we have. Oh, I should probably just leave it there. Also something slightly different, but also the same maker. Nakiri. It's really nice. Nice
wow.
Nakiri. I have one of his. One of the first garage sales that we did, we had his Nakiri, and I have that's the one Nakiri that I have at home. It works fantastic. See, like it's like forging job is fantastic, grinding, like not so much like overexposing. Handle is great.
Wow.
I wonder
What kind of
what
handle is that?
I think it's like type of ebony maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's got the water buffalo horn and
Wow.
yeah, it's
Oh, Jordan was asking, speaking of which, those Miyazaki Kohakatas were super awesome from last garage sale. Have we seen them again?
we will.
Yeah.
Not this one though, because of his I guess limitation of the production.
Mm.
He's also another one-man show, right?
Yeah. One
I-
guy can only make so many knives.
I would like to visit him though. He's from this island that is like it's really surrounded island is surrounded by ocean, but yeah, it's really nice nice place. This is something that we haven't seen. It's a tarafusa SLD with this hammer pattern. I think this may be one of the last ones that they have.
Wow.
So I know a little bit of background story. I don't know if I should be sharing it, but basically they came up like 5-6 years ago. They were like, yeah, let's come up with some cool patterns of knives like these, like tsuchime. But so they made a whole bunch, but then they realized it's so much work to make these patterns. It was not like they didn't establish technique to make this really nice patterns in like one go or like so they had to do it like they had to spend a lot of time doing it. So they made a whole one
Truly
batch.
hand done.
Then they realized it was too hard, so they never made it again. So this is one of the
One
ones.
of a kind.
One of a kind that's left over from like a long time ago. Also, we have the tarafusa, like super identical, isn't it?
Oh wow. So it's like choose your fanciness level.
Yeah. So
Of
this
the
is
shape.
tarafusa. It's pretty, straightforward. Blue carbon steel core, stainless clad on the outside. It's pretty identical. They probably use the same type of something. And also, we did run the Lefty Week, right? Like for those of you who kind of follows us, we got a few very one-of-a-kind left-handed single bevels. So we had some single bevel left-handed ones from Kitaoka-san. But this one here from Tadafusa. Should probably leave it like this. So, I don't know for those who know a little bit about the left-handed blade, it is beveled on the left-hand side of the knife. This is a fish fillet knife. We also have another one. Slightly smaller. Like slightly.
Oh, we've got a left-handed person in the chat.
Oh,
Nice. These are for you, homie.
is it smaller? Kind of, I think. Yeah,
Oh, same.
it's
they-
probably the same. And we have smaller ones. But yeah, for the Lefty Week we did something like left-handed.
Can you
What-
put that one under the camera? Oh, he's just a little guy.
Yeah, this like back side though is actually done really well. Like Usuki and Oshi is really nicely done.
Can you tip it towards you?
Me,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, it's super.
Wow, yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, this where Oshi is really nicely done. I can see myself and without any distorting image, it's like really well. So we have those as well, but like if you actually look, I think we still have some left-handed scissors, kitchen shears
Oh, yeah.
as well. Suncraft left-handed kitchen shears.
Fantastic.
A lot of people ask, what's the difference between right-handed and left-handed scissors? I don't know if you have any scissors here, but it's basically the how the blades are aligned, or they're different. Like regular right-hand scissors, there are, so blade goes this. So like this, where the left-handed scissors goes this way. Because how you apply the pressure with your hands is slightly different.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. Just to run through the news one more time, we've got Fall Garage Sale happening November 6th to the 12th. It starts at 8 a.m. at Mountain Standard Time online and 10 a.m. in store. That is for all stores. Let me get a hand shot so we can see what Naoto's looking at.
Oh, the hand shots, this?
Yeah, that one. We're doing the garage sale preview video that is coming out on Monday, October 30th. That is with me and Naoto. We're running through the entire lineup of garage sale knives, except for the ones that you see in front of you right now. We've got an unboxing and Q&A live stream November 3rd. That is at noon on Mountain Standard Time. So if you've got any questions, or you're looking for a Nikiri or a Petty or a good gift or something really funky and fresh or like a good deal, that's the time where you can talk directly to us and we can show you everything we've got. We've got the big kickoff live stream on Monday, which is the first day of the garage sale, November 6th at 8 a.m. I believe we'll go live a little bit earlier than that so we can kind of get everybody started. We also have a winter clothing drive in Calgary, Edmonton, and Ottawa going on right now, where you can trade your winter clothes for some sharpenings, and we've got a little link in the description for that. Toronto is doing a knife trade-up program, so you can swap your old Knifewear knife for a gift card with a 50% of the current retail value. And we did a video with Terroir last week, which was really cool, and you should go watch it because there's an elk butchery and foraging and good talks, good ideas, and it's just me and Nathan vlogging. So that about wraps it up for news. Naoto, we've got a request in the comments for someone to says, "Can Naoto adopt me?" Nope, sorry. He's busy that day. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks guys watching.
We appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us for the day. And I hope you have an excellent weekend and happy rest of your Friday.
Yeah.
Farewell.
Bye.
Sweet.